Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good health one and all, and welcome to the madness that is the Charlie Marx Show. I'm Charlie Marx, and it is often said, so it must be a very good word. A quick reminder to please like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and follow the Charlie Marx Show. Also, please share, as sharing is daring. You can also leave me a comment, or why not join the show by telling me what's bugging you in the world with the Devil's Advocate. I can also be spied upon by you visiting www.charliemarx.co.uk, and you can also buy me a coffee, or get 1 billion people to subscribe and the coffee will be in me. Coming up on tonight's show, we have all the latest fake news from around the world and beyond with the CM Newsroom, moans and groans and things that go irk in the night with the Devil's Advocate, plus lots more. But first, let's go and get another classic album review. Hi and welcome to another album review of the week. We'll be doing a couple of albums here. This one I've got for you is quite a down album. It's not pop songs or fast rock songs. It's more moaning songs, I would say. There's a lot of moaning in it, but it's done very well. Done very well indeed. It's by Percy and the Pensioners, and the album's called I Ain't Got No Heating Allowance. Now, Percy and the Pensioners, they're a new kind of boy band. As you can see, that they've not had any albums out before, so this is completely new. What I did like about this album is that you get a free Charlie Marx business card with it, which is obviously double-sided, which actually cost probably more than the album cost to make. But anyway, yes, it's got a lot of songs on it that are a play on them not being too happy about the things that have been taken away. For example, the song "You Gave Us the TV License, Then You Took It Away, You Horrible Man You." It doesn't go into who that's about, but you get tones that it could be a political sort of song. Another one was I'm freezing. I'm sitting here freezing. You know, a song like that is of course going to be a down song. It's not going to be your happy-go-lucky song. But there is one there is one upbeat song in the whole album that doesn't include moans, and it's a really kind of pop classic song, and it's called let me just get this now, it's called All Our Ways Are Dead. So yeah, it's a good album, I would say. The guys on it are, obviously there's Percy. I'm not sure which one Percy is. I think Percy is the one in the middle with the brown moustache. I think that's Percy. It doesn't really say in the back of the album because they ran out of money to actually put anything on the back of the album, so it's just blank. But yes, they do songs like I Can't Afford My Shopping, which is again another moany song. So I think it's worth a listen, I really do. There's not many albums out there by first-time boy bands that you would think are worth a listen to, because a lot of them are sort of mechanical in their musicianship. But this one, when I heard it, I thought these instruments are live, which is more than can be said for their wives. So I'd give it a listen to. It's going to be out in the shops in November, so I would look out for it. This album I found to be quite brilliant, to be honest with you. And I don't often say that about albums, especially boy band albums, which I don't like boy bands at all. I don't like girl bands either, but they're much better, you know, more better to look at. More better. That's not a term. Anyway, so this is by the young group Boys with a Hood. And this is the Motown favourites. They've done Motown favourites because they can't really write their own material. They can't see the paper to write it down on, because obviously the hoods. So this has got a lot of Motown hits on it, predominantly from the Temptations, the Jackson 5, the Supremes, you know, any kind of band that was Motown, they've done some covers from them, and they've done them relatively well, I would say. You know, so again, a good album. Don't really know much about this band, to be perfectly honest with you, because most of them have their faces covered. The person who doesn't have their face covered is I think he is the one that put the band together, you know, so he might not even be part of the band, and it's very secretive, but you know, yeah, they do have a couple of good tracks on there, although they are covers. There is one original song, I'm So Cold and Burning Across, so it's nice. It's nice to listen to. This album you can get at most chemists, believe it or not. They've started selling this particular album, and you can also pick up a copy at Reform UK. Whenever they're touring, they always have this album with them as well. So it's certainly something that, you know, would get you to go to one of their conferences, you know, because you could pick up this album. I think they charge for it. I don't think they're giving it away free, but yeah, a bit different. Quite good, actually. Quite good, but very racist. Back to the studio. And more album reviews next time. Now, before we move on to the madness, it's time to get all the latest news madness from around the world and beyond with CM News. Good evening and welcome to CM News with me, Coco Chanel. Our top story this evening. Renowned medium, the great Michi Gas, has died tomorrow. Number 14 Coronation Street has once again failed to sell. Even at the ridiculously low price of £126.43, the house is troubling the estate agents who just can't find a buyer. A spokesperson for the estate agents, Drew Uplands, said that people seem to be reluctant to buy a house that has had 14 murders, 3 fires, 1 of Jack Duckworth's pigeons, and a pair of knickers once belonging to Gales Tilsley. The house may be auctioned off at a later date, but in the meantime will be rented out to a non-gender specific black racist doctor who sells drugs on the side. Thursday evening will see the turning off of the internet for 30 seconds in order to carry out unimportant work. Thousands of young people have taken to the streets protesting with cries of, "What are we going to do with all that spare time?" Leader of Reform, Nigel Farage, has hit out at claims that he is in fact Beaker from The Muppet Show, saying that this was a ridiculous claim made up by Labour to cast doubts on his ability as a political leader. Prime Minister Keith Starmer replied to Farage's statement saying that he found his deeply suspicious circumstances that the pair were never seen in the same room together. And finally, Dr. Bunsen has added to the recent Nigel Fridge controversy by recalling the time when Beaker had an anti-Semitic racist rant when he was sent to his bed early for blowing up the laboratory. And that was the latest headlines. This is Coco Chanel for CM News. Good night. Thank you, cup of cocoa. More from the CM Newsroom next time. Now it's time to go live to the White House to hear a special message from President Orange. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States. This is a very important announcement. I can safely say that of announcements. This is the biggie. This is numero uno announcement. And let me tell you good people here of America. My staff said, you're going to make an announcement on this, and there's nobody better, nobody at making this kind of announcement than you. And I said, you're right. I'm an expert on announcements. Believe me. If anyone can make an announcement, it's got to be me. Yeah? They said, you're the best person in the whole universe to make this announcement. And I looked at them. I looked at my chief of staff. Great people, great people. And there was a pause. Nobody said a thing. And we all looked up towards me. I was looking in the mirror. It was silent in the very room. JD then spoke up, because you know JD, he likes to speak. Isn't that right, JD? He said, and I'll never forget this, but he said, you could make the people who have announcements quiver in their trainers if you were to walk into a room. It was something along these lines, and I just smiled at JD, and didn't I, JD? And I smiled. I just smiled because I am the best. Probably nobody better. I'm the best announcer, especially of announcements. You gotta know just what I say, how I say it, and when I say it. Yep. They even got this guy, very important guy, the main guy at Harvard, to call me up. And he said, Mr. President? And I replied, yeah? Who's this? Because I didn't know. And he said to me, it's me, the most important guy in Harvard. And I said to him, you think you're the most important guy in Harvard? But I bet if you were to ask all the Harvardians who the most important person was, they would just like that. He cut me off and he said, finish my sentence. He said, they would say you, Mr. President. He knew. I said this to him, what do you want? Because I'm a very busy man. And he said that he would like me to teach the top classes in Harvard how to make an announcement. I said, you're crazy. I'm running a country here. So yeah, that's just the day in the life of me. My administration, probably the best administration since Jesus. His administration, in fact, only the other day, this kid probably about 4 or 24, I don't know. But this kid comes up to me and he says, you know what? He says to me, I told you, JD, and even under your stupid little beard, I could see that you were shocked. But this kid, he comes up to me, he's about 6 or 3, and he says, do you think I could be president one day, Mr. President? I looked at this kid, and he was about 2 or 17, and I said, first, you gotta get a trade. You gotta get a trade, because people become a builder, because people who have a trade can build America. And then one day, when you have a trade like a builder, you can build a wall as good as me. Then you come and see me, and I'll make you something better than a president. There's nothing better than a president. I said, you come to me, and I'll give you one of my old ties. He walked away, that kid. And do you know where he is? He went? Huh? Anyone? Can't anyone find the little shit? He's somewhere in here. I think he's still in the White House. You know, you gotta have the beans if you're gonna build a beanstalk. And you can only climb that beanstalk if you swap a cow for beans. It always comes down to the beans. Thank you. Now it's time for another roundup of moans and groans and things that go irk in the night with the Devil's Advocate. The cruelest trick the imaginary man in the sky ever played was when he gave us time. You can have all the money in the world, you can have all the luck there is to get, you can have all the happiness in the stars, but when your time's up, my friend, your time's up. Time is relative to the age you are. Remember school holidays seeming to last forever when you were 9 or 10? Well, they did, because of how little time we had spent on the planet. I was always led to believe that as you got older, time slowed down, but this turned out to be a big fat lie. Time flies past at a rate so quickly, you will never catch up with it. The greatest victims of the whole countdown to eternal sleep are musicians. As a writer, and as I write, I can write until I drop. But as a musician, time has a way of changing not only how you perform, but how noticeable it can be to others. Most of the musicians I have loved and followed all my life seem to be dead or have retired. Look at the list of those who have gone and will never be replaced. Freddie Mercury, Neil Peart, David Bowie, Ozzy, Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, Elvis, John Lennon, Michael Jackson, Bob Marley, Amy Winehouse, Jimi Hendrix, George Michael, Tom Petty, Leonard Cohen, Dusty Springfield, Marvin Gaye, John Bonham, Dan McCafferty. The list goes on and on and on. These are just a fraction of the icons who ran out of time, never to be replaced, leaving only recordings of what they made about who they were. Time ran out for them, but what about the ones left? Most of them are retiring due to not being able to give the performance they once gave, or through ill health. There is only the very small exception of that list, i.e. Kiss and Motley Crue, who have retired and risen back to the stage more times than you can sell hot tickets. Time does not take the emotion of musicians who only have their songs to sing into account. Time could be less. Time couldn't care less. Right, so can you put that just back a wee bit? Don't stop it, just put it back a bit. I'll just cut it in. Time couldn't care less. If you're Alice Cooper or Billy Joel, time has no ability... Oh, sorry, put it back. Time does not care about the emotions of the musician who only has their song to sing into account. Oh, take it just back. Right, sorry. Right, okay, go. Time couldn't care less if you're Alice Cooper or Billy Joel. Time has no ability to turn into a screaming fan of the artist. Time only runs down and it never runs up. Time doesn't care if you're a plumber or a rock star, a carpenter or a writer. Time has no conscience, and thus we all lose out to time. Thank you for watching The Charlie Marx Show, and remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share and follow me on www.charliemarx.co.uk. You can also buy me a coffee or join the channel for much more. So until next time, if you're not subscribed to The Charlie Marx Show, your time will come.